Now, this issue has also exposed tensions in the coalition ranks over Sussan Ley's leadership. Last week, when no less than the President of the United States, Donald Trump, told Kevin Rudd he didn't like him and probably never will, Coalition MPs refused to back in Sussan Ley's sensible assessment that Rudd's position was probably untenable. Some MPs had even previously expressed the same view, but then they changed their tune when Sussan made her public comments. And then again today we saw the same thing. Multiple Liberal figures refused to support Sussan's demand for Albanese to apologise for wearing that controversial shirt.
Support your leader's call for an apology, yes or no?
So I'm sorry, we're focusing on these issues.
So you don't support your leader's call?
I will continue to focus on the issues around cartel kickbacks.
Mr O'Brien, does the Prime Minister need to apologise for wearing a Joy Division T-shirt?
Oh, look, when it comes to fashion, I don't claim to be the right person to ask in this parliament.
Well, your leader says that he needs to apologise. Do you agree with the leader?
Well, look, if you want to talk clothing,
why won't you
energy
endorse that call,
is
Mr
the
O'Brien?
economy. And so I'm not going to continue to take multiple questions about T-shirts.
Can I give you one more opportunity to support what your leader said? Should the Prime Minister apologise?
We've already talked T-shirts, fashion, increase in costs.
Now, good on my Sky colleague Cam Redden for pressing him there. And just in case you don't know, that is Ted O'Brien, the Deputy Liberal leader, Sussan Ley's deputy. I mean, that was disgraceful. It's not about fashion at all. If Ted O'Brien can't publicly support Sussan Ley, then he should resign. Now, I asked Ted O'Brien today after that press conference if he did continue to support Ley as leader, and I also asked him, how can you remain as deputy leader if you do not publicly support her? Now, he responded saying, I, of course, support Sussan as leader. My presser on CPI figures was about today's shock news on the rise in inflation and ongoing price increases, and I stuck to that one issue. As for the PM's T-shirt, I believe his wearing of it displayed poor judgment on his part. So he's now trying to fix up that shocking press conference where, as you saw, Cam Redden asked him 3 times and he just claimed it was a matter of fashion. Now, it's not hard for any politician to give a basic comment saying that they understand why some would be offended by a T-shirt that draws on the memory of Jewish women being sexually abused and raped by Nazis. It's not hard to give a comment saying the choice of T-shirt is poor judgment and then continue to speak about how the Albanese government has shown no leadership on anti-Semitism. And then even they could call on Albanese to implement Gillian Segal's recommendations. But Ted O'Brien, the Deputy Liberal leader, didn't do that. Neither did Tim Wilson. Ted deliberately chose to embarrass Sussan Ley. Now, in fact, he's only embarrassed himself. Angus Taylor, on the other hand, look, he's Sussan Ley's key rival, and yet he did back her in.
Look, I think what the Prime Minister did was tone deaf in this context. We've got a Jewish community in Australia. I've just come back from Israel that I think are feeling a lot of pain, and I think we've got to be sensitive to that.
He's a class act and he shows up his dreadful colleagues. He has leadership ambitions and yet he chooses unity over division. Now, Julian Lee says on my show tonight, and he also supports Lee's position. Have a look.
Sussan Ley was right to call him out on it, and he should apologise for his actions here.
He'll be up a bit later. But Sussan Ley is partly to blame herself for this disunity because she lacks authority as leader. And this is because she isn't, as far as I'm aware, enforcing unity in the coalition. But the coalition MPs are primarily to blame. If they think they will ever get back into government acting with such amateurish disunity, they're kidding themselves. Acting like this, they do not deserve government. They deserve to be exactly where they are on the opposition benches. But the problem, of course, with that is that as Australians, we deserve better than this government and this Prime Minister.